Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Chelsea, and today for another VEDA2 video we have got my favourite books of the year so far. So this week, as I said already in our previous video, we are just going to be looking at the year so far in my reading. And today we're looking at favourite books. So I will put some of them on screen because I don't own all of them and I have some of them to hand. So let's just get started and see what my favourite books are. So book one is going to be A Promised Land by Barack Obama. It is here. It is such a great story. He narrates it himself. I listened to the audiobook, absolutely loved it. I think he is such an inspirational person, he is such a hard worker, and this book shows it. And I just really enjoyed hearing his experiences from him, almost firsthand, because it felt more like a conversation, which was really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And one that I loved last year was The Becoming, or Just Becoming, there is no the, by Michelle Obama, which is like her side of the story, and it was really nice to kind of see the differences between their two stories, because obviously Barack planned to be, well, he didn't plan to become president, but it was his decision to become president. Michelle obviously agreed to it and said yes, but also she shows more of like what the family went through, whereas he goes through what he went through because he was obviously being president and she had to look after the kids and stuff. Like, there's a lot of things that myself, as someone who is English, didn't understand that goes into a presidential campaign, and that sounds like a lot of being on the road. It sounded like a lot. So both views are amazing and I really enjoyed reading this book. Then we have got both of the books from the Threadlight series. So as I am recording this right now, I am reading Bonds of Chaos, which is the third and final book in this series, but I have read the first two, so Voice of War and Stones of Light. Loved both. 5 stars. This magic system is amazing. I go on about this series. I have been going on about this series since I read the first one. It is fantastic. And as of, like I'm saying, recording right now, I'm still reading Bonds of Chaos, but it will probably be featured in this video when I record it at the end of the year. But for now, it's these two. This magic system is amazing. It's original in my opinion. I personally have not read anything like it, and the characters are amazing. This author, much like Ryan Carhill, does not shy away from showing that his characters are suffering or that they're going through some stuff, and I love it because it's like, oh well, we're going through whatever it is, and it's not as though it's not as though it's all going to get fixed, and it's not as though they're like, oh well, I've gone through this but now I'm fine. Like, we've still got some residual trauma going on, still coping. It's a lot, but it's good, and Zach Argyle is a phenomenal writer, absolutely love him. Then we've got the two books that I have read by Andy Weir. So one of them is this one, Project Hail Mary, and the other one is The Martian, which I read very recently. Both of these books, 5 stars. His characters are sarcastic, he makes me care about science, he makes me kind of understand science, and he makes me want to continue reading about science, and that's saying a lot because especially The Martian is very much like, here is the math that I need to use to work this out, and here is what Mars is like, and here is all of this data. And I feel as though if it was written in any other way, I would have been like, I really don't care. Don't care, skip, DNF. But because our main character is so, I don't know, attainable as a normal person, same in this, it makes being an astronaut seem more attainable, and it proves that they are people. Obviously, I don't know, like, I feel as though a lot of the portrayal around them is that they're very much obviously geniuses, but that terrifies me because I'm very much not, whereas the sarcasm between these two characters in this book and in The Martian makes me feel like I could actually go for a pint with these guys and be like, oh, I've got something to talk to you about. That isn't necessarily science, and I think that's amazing. And yeah, enjoyed these greatly. And everyone keeps asking me if I'm going to be reading Artemis, which he also read, and yes, it is on my list of things to buy. And I really want to buy, I want these books, not necessarily this one because obviously I've got it in hardback because it was new, but I really want Artemis, although I haven't read it yet, and The Martian in like some sort of special edition. I really want that. Is that possible? I don't know, let me know. Or I want them in hardback. Oh, I'm going to have to do some eBay diving, I think, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. but I love these books. Then another favourite that I have been reading for the It's All About Fantasy book club read along that I co-host with Lisa and Kate. The Twitter is always linked down below. Come and join us if you have read this series. If not, we're not almost done, but currently we're on book 3 of 5. So in a few more months we'll be picking our new series. But I read the Rune of Kings and this was 5 stars. I loved this. I loved the perspectives in it. It was fantastic. I didn't enjoy the sequel as much. It was a 4 stars, but I loved this. Like, I'm so glad I have this whole series in hardback now because I wasn't sure if I was going to love it as much as I did, and I absolutely adored it. This story is told from kind of 2 different perspectives in 2 different timelines. We've got Kieran telling his side of the story and Talon telling a different side of his story. We start this series with Kieran being captured and Talon is the person who he is talking to, and Talon says, "Tell me the story of you," and he starts, and then after a chapter we swap to her going, no, that's not the point of origin of the story, it's this. And then we get 2 different timelines and they do come together and obviously meet, and you become in line with where you're at currently in Kieran's timeline, which is great, and I loved it. I thought it was so good. I loved the characters, I loved the world, and the thing that we said a lot in the live stream of this is that I feel as though in the next book we need more Kieran, because that's what we loved. And more to Wraith, because I love him too. But apparently this one and the sequel, The Name of Things, are like prequels, and then The Memory of Souls is kind of where it like picks up, and it's more like both timelines coming together, which is pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing if I enjoy it as much as I love this, because I really hope I do. And then the last 2 books that I'm going to talk to you about are ones that I have read literally this month. One is The Warrior. Are we surprised? Because I sure as heck am not. I loved this. I gave this 5 stars. The first book I gave 4 stars to, and I just feel as though I felt more about these characters in the sequel. I feel as though they went through a lot more stuff. I don't know. I loved it. It's so good. Both books are quest orientated, which is one of my favourite things to read about, and in the first book we meet Kelcressia, who went on this journey 10 years ago to defeat this evil being in the north, and then 10 years later he is called upon by the king to go back to the frozen north because there is this strange cold happening and they're worried that the same problem is happening again. Such a good book. And then this one is another one, but it's slightly different, but we still got Cal and loved him. But yeah, so this was great. Loved this. And then the final one. Guys, I did it. I've done it. I've been talking about this book since December. I finished it! Of Darkness and Light. I freaking loved this. 5 stars. I actually even messaged Ryan last night to say, like, I don't know how you've done it. I am in awe. This book is amazing. And yeah, of course it is. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but this was such a good book. So good. So literally this book is like filled with action from basically the first chapter to the last chapter. We are going through all sorts of things. I said in my vlog yesterday that Valeris feels very much like he's in his teen era because every emotion is such a big emotion for him, and I don't know if that's like a common thing with dragons. There are more dragons in this as well, by the way. I don't know if that's like a normal thing with dragons, but it's obviously very normal for like teenagers if you're a human, and every emotion he feels is like tenfold, which is quite nice to see, but also I'm interested to see if that ever like chills out and like if he becomes more like mature and stuff. But you can just see the connection between him and Caleb being so strong, and so much so that obviously when Valeris is feeling these big emotions, Caleb feels them too, which is bonkers. But Ryan's done it again. He's absolutely done it again. I am reading The Exile shortly this month. I just need to stop filming and sit down and I'll crack through that because it's only like a little tiny book, so I will be reading that this month, and yeah, including that in my wrap up as well. And another one for Indie August, which is absolutely amazing, and I just know that the book after this is going to be so good. So good. So there you go, there are my favourite books so far for this year. I love these books and I will recommend them to you all the time. I do that with the Threadlight series all the time, and I do that with obviously Ryan as well, and just so good. So yeah, they've all been rated 5 stars by me this year, and I cannot wait to see what joins them at the end of the year. It's so much fun. I love finding 5-star reads. I love finding authors that continue to be 5-star reads for me. I think they are so cool, and I love that they just hit the mark every single time, even if it's like a completely different series like Andy Weir. But there you go, there's today's video. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a like, really supports me and my channel. Leave me a comment down below of your favourite book of the year so far, and if you don't want to leave me a comment and you just want to leave me an emoji, leave me any heart emoji for the books that you have loved. If you want to see more of me, please consider subscribing down below and ringing that notification bell so you get notified every single time I upload new videos. I am uploading every single day in the month of August. The VEDA2 playlist is always linked down below, so make sure you click on that and check out what I have been uploading already, or just go back to my channel page and you'll see it all. It's got a little green banner. It is very clear. Once we finish VEDA and we get into September, I will be back to uploading every Wednesday and Sunday, so stick around if you want more bookish content from me. But otherwise, that is everything for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Bye.